What's your "this isn't what it looks like" story? I was at a pretty crowded bar and had just come back from getting drinks for me and my girlfriend. It was pretty packed, so I was turning sideways to slink through, and all of a sudden I feel something tugging at my crotch. I look down simultaneously as a girl screams a bit, and we both realize that somehow my belt had caught on her loosely hanging sweater and I was dragging her with me as I walked. Both of my hands were full of drinks, so I couldn't be the one to untangle us. I shrugged at her and apologized for the situation while she leaned over and started fiddling around with my belt buckle to try and free herself. Just then, her boyfriend returned. That was pretty hard to explain. When I was in high school, I was driving around with a girl I liked who had just gone through an emotional trauma. She was crying onto my lap/stomach when I drove past my friends who all thought I was getting head. In high school, a friend and I walked into the bathroom while another friend waited in the hall. I'm using the urinal when I hear grunt behind me. I look back, and there's an overweight autistic kid trying to crawl out from under a bathroom stall. I'm assuming the door was jammed and the poor guy panicked. The issue is, he was way too big to fit under the door. The door was wedged between two stomach rolls and he wasn't going anywhere. Being the upstanding citizen I am, I grab this guy's urine-soaked hands and start pulling. When that doesn't work, I swing the door open, sliding him across the floor in the process, and begin to slide him out sideways. After a few minutes of grunting, effort, and determination, he's finally free. Well, just as I'm making the final pull towards freedom, my friend walks in to see what the hell is taking us so long. All he sees is me dragging some obese, autistic, piss-soaked kid across the bathroom floor. He noped the fuck out of there immediately. Once I thoroughly cleaned myself in the sink, I caught up with him. Apparently, he thought I had beat up an autistic kid for some reason and so decided to get the fuck out of there. Oh yeah, that other friend who came into the bathroom with me? He had spent the whole time in the corner laughing uncontrollably about how ridiculous the situation was, unable to help me. I was walking down a back street in suburbia smoking a cig. I heard kids playing in a yard. You jump. No, you jump first, then I will. Alright, it sounds like something entertaining is about to happen, so I peek into the yard to watch these kids hurt themselves. It's two preteens sitting on top of maybe a 5-foot-tall playhouse, ready to jump. It's just high enough that they'll probably cry when they hit the ground, so my expectations are high. Meanwhile, I'm an adult male peering through the bushes, smoking a cigarette, with my hood up, watching kids play. One of them spots me and starts yelling, "Mommy, there's a stranger watching us." I panic and take off. The mom calls the cops, and within minutes the whole neighborhood is up in arms searching for this pervert with 2 squad cars for backup. One of the mothers gets on the Megan's Law page and it turns out there's a registered sex offender living a few blocks away that nobody knew about. Suddenly everybody remembers seeing this guy lurking here and there and blah blah witch hunt. They blamed him and eventually got him evicted. I would have felt bad, but he rented a house right in front of a school bus stop and apparently that was a no-no, so fuck that guy anyway. Also, I didn't want to tell my family I was smoking, even though I was like 20 at the time. What a little bitch. I later quit smoking, but that was unrelated to this. I read on Reddit about how to stop mosquito bites from being so itchy by applying a heated up spoon to the area. My girlfriend walks into my room right on cue as I'm heating up a spoon by holding a lighter under it. In high school, I went to use the restroom at a urinal, but I was having issues accessing the zipper, got caught in that little space at the bottom of zipper where it meets the jeans. I was frustrated and said out loud, "Where the hell is it?" Suddenly I realized I wasn't alone in the restroom and a group of 3 or 4 classmates started laughing and thought I couldn't find my cock. I'm currently doing research on birds in Belgium. A part of my project is to disturb the birds at night and record their reaction. So, me and a few fellow students go into the forest at night, carrying a ladder and some strange electronic equipment beneath our coats with a lot of wires coming out. This was only a few days after the terrorist attack on the airport. When we got back at the university, our supervisor mentions that several people noticed us and called the police. It happened when I was at my significant other's best friend's house during summer. The three of us were all hanging out in the pool when my SO had to go inside to check on the food. Well, stupid best friend decided to jump into the shallow end and hurt herself. Her top came off from the splash and she was screaming in pain. So, being a good guy, I rushed over to help her. But of course my SO walked outside the moment I had my arms around her trying to get her out of the pool. With her top off. Screaming. Not only was it a "this is not what it looks like" moment, but it was pretty awkward holding her without a top on while she was wet. I used to work at a lumber yard and was the only one at the service counter when a woman called asking about this water-based polyurethane we sold. They need to use it for a project and wanted to know if it had any smell to it as her kid has asthma and would react to strong odors. I put her on hold as I got a gallon and explained that the label said it was low odor. She still wasn't assured, so I told her I would check for myself. I opened the lid and waved my hand to see if there was any odor. There was not. So, I stuck my nose close and took a sniff, still nothing. I then picked the can up to my face and got right in there and took a huge sniff. Just as my coworker and a customer walked in from the other room, there I was, all alone looking like I was snorting fumes like a strung-out huffer. I grew up with two sisters and both of them are very artistic. They would do figure drawings and sometimes they would use nude pictures online for art reference. One day my dad checks the family computer's internet history and sees a bunch of softcore porn picture sites. Naturally, he blames the 16-year-old boy of the house and I get shit for it. My sisters thought it was hilarious and didn't back me up until almost 2 months later. I had a friend who was dating a dude that used heroin. He was generally a nice guy and I felt bad/worried for him. Across from my apartment was a free needle clinic and I know that he had been banned from a few of them, so I was worried he was using old and potentially dirty needles. So one day, I went over there and went through the whole interview process about them and got a big bag of clean needles, an elastic band to tie off with, alcohol swabs, and a couple small metal caps to cook in, and threw them in my desk thinking that I would give them to him the next time I saw him. The next weekend my mom came over to help me move. My husband is really into keeping lizards and snakes and such. Once he went to get some vegetables for his bearded dragon before work. He was feeling a little tired, so he got a 5-hour energy shot. He also happened to be out of conditioner. So when he checked out, all he had was a cucumber, conditioner and a 5-hour. The cashier was like, "What are you going to do with that?" "Gotta get back to the wife and feed the bearded dragon." I went out to dinner with my fiancé and his family last week. The entrees at the restaurant all come with salad, and I don't eat salad, so I just ordered mine the way my fiancé likes it so he could eat it. When the server brought out my salad, he was about to put it in front of me, and my fiancé grabbed it and said she doesn't need that, and put it in front of himself. The look on the server's face was one of horror/pity as he tried to register why this mean man would blatantly insinuate that his girlfriend was fat in front of everyone. Airport security found handcuffs in my luggage. Wasn't planning a hijacking. Not into bondage. Just traveling home after my bachelorette party. It was January 2001, when that sort of thing was just a bit uncomfortable, not grounds to get me on a no-fly list. I was drinking at my girlfriend's place at a party and my ex, her cousin, was there. Long story short, my ex gets super hammered, and since I was the one put in charge to deal with people, I had to take her into my girlfriend's bedroom to go to bed because she was too drunk, and as I'm trying to get her onto the bed she starts trying to take my pants off, begging me to have sex with her and literally trying to pull me onto the bed so I have both my hands on the bed to keep myself upright. At that particular moment my girlfriend's mom and brother happened to appear at the doorway. That was an awkward situation to say the least. I was jerking off. Mom walks in and I alt F4 quicker than you can say Quidditch. What did I have open under? Facebook photos of my younger girl cousin. Didn't jerk off since. Moved into a new flat with friend. We were getting everything sorted and I decided to give the washing machine a trial run. Threw a few things in and he threw a few bits in. Fast forward an hour later, roommate goes shopping. Washing machine rings to let me know it's finished. I go empty the stuff in there and wasn't sure if the conditioner had worked. Picked up a pair of boxers, thought they were mine, and gave them a sniff to see if they smelt lavender clean. Roommate walks into the flat the second I put them to my face and asks me why I'm sniffing his boxers. Awkward.